American gardeners in their 50s and 60s are watching plants collapse in August heat and misdiagnosing everyone. Not because you did something wrong, because nobody ever showed you heat stress from disease. And these 6 signs save $200 or more per plant. Before plant number 1, drop your state right now, because your USDA zone completely changes which of these performs best for you. Find yours and pay attention. And the one at number 4, Extension Services, kept it quiet since before most growers knew what to look for. Listen carefully. Plant number 1, Japanese maple. That $150 specimen crisping at the edges right now is not dying from disease. It is dying from a diagnosis mistake that cost growers hundreds of dollars every August. Picture the leaf margins curling inward and browning like paper held near a flame, while the veins underneath stay stubbornly green. University extension data confirms scorch spreads inward from leaf margins within 48 hours of peak heat, never in the circular spotting pattern of fungal disease. Growers who treat scorch with fungicide waste $15 to $30 per application, while the real damage keeps spreading untouched. A single afternoon, shade relocation costs nothing and prevents $150 replacement purchases. The most common mistake is watering more when the soil is already saturated, which drowns roots already struggling with heat. That mistake alone kills maples that scorch alone never would. Move that maple to afternoon shade and the scorch stops spreading within a week. The leaf is not coming back, but the tree survives. Drop your zone below if you have ever mistaken scorch for disease on any tree in your yard, because what happens next with plant number 2 fools even experienced growers completely. And somewhere in this video is the story of a homeowner in Ohio who almost tore out a dying Japanese maple before finding the real cause. That story is coming. Keep watching. Plant number 2, big leaf hydrangea. Those brown patches you have been treating with fungicide for 3 summers straight are not fungal leaf spot at all. Picture damage boxed in cleanly by the leaf veins like a mosaic, never crossing into a circular spot pattern the way real fungus spreads. Zones 5 through 9, morning sun only. University extension confirms this vein. Bound pattern is heat scorch, not the circular cercospora spotting most growers assume on site. Growers who buy fungicide for scorch spend $20 to $35 repeatedly on a product doing nothing for the actual cause. Correct diagnosis means 1 drip line adjustment instead of a $40 replacement shrub next spring. The most common mistake is overhead watering during peak afternoon heat, which scorches wet leaves even faster under direct sun. That single habit turns a manageable stress response into permanent leaf loss. Switch to drip irrigation at the base and that mosaic scorch stops within days. No fungicide required, no dead shrub to replace. Did you believe those brown patches meant fungal disease? Be completely honest in the comments. Because indoors, plant number 3 is hiding a heat mistake most owners never even suspect. Plant number 3, fiddle leaf fig. That $120 statement plant. Dropping leaves near your sunniest window is not thirsty at all. It is suffering direct glass heat scorch. Most owners never suspect indoors. Picture the exact leaf touching the window, developing a dry, brittle edge, while leaves just inches away stay perfectly healthy. Zones 10 through 11, outdoors. Bright indirect light indoors. University extension guidance confirms glass magnifies afternoon. Heat well beyond the surrounding room temperature, scorching whatever leaf touches it directly. Owners who respond by watering more spend. Nothing productive while root rot begins from soil that never needed extra moisture. Moving the plant 3 feet back costs $0 and prevents a $120 replacement purchase entirely. The most common mistake is misreading leaf drop as underwatering when the true cause sits inches from the glass. That single misread accelerates the exact damage the owner is trying to fix. Move that fig 3 feet from the glass, and new growth returns within 2 weeks. The same plant, just out of the heat trap. Have you ever grown a fiddle-leaf fig indoors and blamed watering for damage that was never about water? Drop it below. Because what almost happened to an Ohio homeowner's Japanese maple is coming up right now. Earlier at the start of this video, I mentioned a homeowner in Ohio. This is that story. She was 2 days from cutting down her Japanese maple in Zone 5 when a university extension call confirmed it was scorch, not disease, and that a single afternoon shade move could still save the $150 tree before the season worsened. Her maple kept every leaf that hadn't already scorched, and she never spent the $150 replacement cost she had already budgeted for that weekend, because one phone call caught the mistake in time. If you are still watching, this next plant is why I made this video. Not for the algorithm. For the grower who stayed. Plant number 4, Coleus, that $5 container plant losing its signature color under August sun, is not fading from age. It is bleaching from light intensity. Most growers never diagnose correctly. Picture the top leaves washing out toward white while the lower shaded leaves keep their full vivid color completely intact. Zones 10 through 11 outdoors. University extension guidance confirms pigment bleaching occurs when UV intensity exceeds a variety's tolerance, permanently fading existing leaves with no reversal possible. Growers who fertilize heavily to fix fading spend $8 to $15 on product that cannot restore lost pigment. Moving the container to afternoon shade costs nothing and protects the next $12 replacement purchase. The most common mistake is assuming pale leaves signal nutrient deficiency rather than light damage. That single misdiagnosis wastes fertilizer, while the true cause keeps bleaching every new leaf. Move that Coleus to afternoon shade and new growth comes in vivid again. The faded leaves stay faded permanently, but the plant recovers completely within a few weeks. What plant or situation in your yard has defeated everything you have tried this season? Tell me below, because plant number 5 hides a mistake almost every fern owner makes without ever realizing it. Plant number 5, Boston fern. That $25 hanging basket crisping at the tips is not underwatered at all. It is losing moisture to dry August air faster than the roots can ever replace it. Picture the frond tips browning and curling first, while the center of the plant stays perfectly green and unaffected. Zones 9 through 11 outdoors. Bright indirect light. University extension research confirms fern fronds lose moisture through their thin tissue faster than roots, can replace it once humidity drops below 40%. Owners who respond with heavier watering spend nothing productive while soggy roots begin rotting beneath an already stressed plant. Grouping containers together or adding a pebble tray costs under $5 and prevents a $25 replacement basket. The most common mistake is treating crispy tips as a watering problem instead of a humidity problem entirely. That single misdiagnosis drowns the roots, while the real cause, dry air, keeps damaging every new frond. Group that fern with other containers and new fronds come in undamaged within 2 weeks. The crispy tips never recover, but the plant thrives again. Have you ever grown a Boston fern and blamed watering for damage that was actually about dry air the entire time? Drop it below, because the final plant on this list surprises even lifelong Hosta growers. Plant number 6, Hosta. That $20 shade perennial with a crispy pale patch in the center of its leaf is not diseased at all. It is sun-scalded from a gap in the canopy above it. Picture the bleached patch matching the exact shape of the sunbeam that broke through the shade for just a few hours each afternoon. Zones 3 through 8. Full shade to part shade. University extension guidance confirms Hosta leaf tissue scalds within hours when a canopy gap lets direct sun reach a plant bred for constant shade. Growers who assume disease often apply fungicide costing $10 to $20, while the actual gap keeps burning new leaves untreated. Trimming one overhead branch costs nothing and protects the full $20 plant from repeated scalding. The most common mistake is transplanting the hosta entirely instead of simply closing the light gap above it. That unnecessary move stresses the root system far more than the original scald ever did. Close that canopy gap and the existing scald never spreads further. New leaves emerge completely clean the following season. And we have not even reached the 3 bonus facts yet, the ones almost no source puts in one place. Listen carefully, because your zone determines exactly which of these 6 mistakes is costing you right now. 3 things about heat stress diagnosis that almost no source puts in one place. Scorch damage always shows first on the side of the plant facing direct afternoon sun, never scattered randomly like disease does. Extension data confirms correctly diagnosed heat stress recovers within 2 to 4 weeks, while misdiagnosed plants often cost growers $200 or more in unnecessary replacements. The third fact: morning watering before 9 o'clock reduces heat stress severity across all 6 of these plants by giving thirsty roots several hours to absorb moisture before peak afternoon sun arrives and pulls it straight back out again. Correct diagnosis this week protects a typical home garden investment worth $200 or more in plants you would otherwise replace unnecessarily. Here is exactly where to begin. Based on your zone, right now. Here is exactly where to begin. Zone to plants to dollar. In zones 3 through 7, your maple, hydrangea, and hosta face the highest scorch risk heading into late August, and one afternoon, shade adjustment across all 3 protects roughly $215 in combined plant village. In zones 8 through 9, your fig, coleus, and fern need repositioning and humidity adjustments right now, not next week, because these 3 plants show scorch and bleaching fastest once temperatures cross 90 degrees during peak August afternoons. Miss this window, and your first sign of real recovery waits a full year for cooler weather to finally return. You just received Zone. Accurate, dollar-grounded diagnosis knowledge. Most channels never manage to put in one single place, built from 50 years of real growing experience. If this video gave you even one sign you had never considered before today, hit like right now. Drop your state and your USDA zone below, and tell me honestly, which of these 6 plants you are checking on first this week before the heat gets worse. Subscribe to Planter Lab. 50 years of plant knowledge delivered every single week. For the grower who actually wants to know the real cause.